I'm Marin, and this is Post-its and Pens. Hello and welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Marin, and here you will find a little beauty, a little books, and a little teaching content. So if that sounds like something you might enjoy, I would love for you to subscribe and stick around and join me in my little corner of YouTube. Today's video is going to be my 2022 goals/intentions video. So I have broken my list of goals down into different categories. Some of them revolve around my reading, some of them revolve around beauty, some of them revolve around my life. And I'm just going to kind of go through them so that I can come back to this video at the end of the year and see how well I did. So let's go ahead and get into the video. I have listed out my goals on my computer like this, so I am going to be looking down to read off of them. And yeah, we're just kind of gonna fly through them so that I can get this put out there so that we can look back at it at the end of the year and reflect. So we're gonna start off with my reading/book goals, and the first one is my Goodreads reading challenge. So I am setting my Goodreads challenge at 75 books for 2022. I'm having a very hard time saying that. 75 books in 2022. In 2021, I read 90 books, counting, I believe, 3 DNFs, so 75 is doable. 90 felt like a lot. Sometimes I felt like I was really pushing myself to get books read, and I don't necessarily want to do that. That being said, it is January 17th and I've already read 6 books, so, you know, my reading is very fluid, up and down. Sometimes I read quite a bit in a month, sometimes I don't. So 75 books seems like a nice, safe place to put my goal. And if I get more than that, great. But I will be striving for that 75 book mark. The next one is don't be afraid to DNF. So last year I got much better about DNFing. As I'd mentioned, I did DNF, I believe, 3 books. And I want to make sure I'm not feeling guilty about that. Reading is something that I do for enjoyment, and if I am not enjoying a book, I'm not going to keep reading it. So my goal this year is to not be afraid to DNF. There were probably a few more books last year that I could have DNF'd and didn't. So yeah, don't be afraid to DNF. It's not the end of the world. There are other books out there, and I have plenty on my TBR that I can read instead. So that's goal number 2. Do not be afraid to DNF. Okay, goal number 3 is to read at least 6 classics. Now, the way I'm going to do this is that I am participating in Emily Fox's classics, I guess, read along. She has scheduled out 6 classics to read over the course of 2 months per book, with her Patreon and her just her regular channel, and I'm going to participate with that. So the one that I need to read before the end of February is Persuasion by Jane Austen. And yeah, I'm going to try to read some more classics this year. If I read more than 6, great, but 6 is the goal because that is what her book club is doing, and I would like to go ahead and participate in that throughout the whole year. Speaking of like reading challenges, I am also hoping to participate in every single month of the Literally Dead book club hosted by Kayla at Books and Lala. I am also trying to do the Buzzwordathon challenge each month, and I have already read my January book. Yay. And I'm also participating in the Mount TBR challenge over on Goodreads. I will leave a link down below in the description, but basically it's to read books off of your own TBR, and you set yourself a goal. You're climbing up mountains. Each mountain is like a different number of books, and my goal is to hopefully read 48 books off of my owned TBR. That can be ebooks, audiobooks, that kind of thing. So check that out if you're interested, but those are my kind of group goals, if you will. Another little challenge that I'm setting for myself is to read one Nancy Drew book each month. So in January, I am hoping to get to the very first one, which is The Secret of the Old Clock. I have read this several times. These are very short. I feel like this is definitely doable. This is like a book I can get done in a single day, but I think it would be fun to kind of revisit Nancy Drew. I was a big fan when I was younger. I read all of them, I think, honestly. So I am very excited to revisit this and see if it still holds like that special place in my heart. This was a childhood favorite. So yeah, that's another challenge for myself this year, to read one Nancy Drew book per month, which should definitely be doable. Okay, sticking with reading goals. I have a lot of them, y'all. I want to read at least 2 books each month from my owned TBR. So I have done that already this month. Yay. But yeah, I want to read at least 2 books from my physical TBR each month. I have a whole bunch of books that I really want to get through and read and decide if I want to keep them or not. And the only way I can do that is if I actually pick them up and read them. So that is a goal. Read at least 2 books each month from my physical TBR. That also can count ebooks, just for the record. And kind of staying in that same vein, I want to complete both of my 22 blank in 2022 list. So I have a 22 books to read in 2022 list and a 22 series to finish in 2022 list. So I will link both of those videos down below, but I want to make sure that I read those books from those lists. That would be a reading goal. And then speaking about like YouTube and Instagram, I want to film at 1 themed vlog per month. So I've created myself a little spinner wheel. I will insert it right here, where I've just kind of set myself some reading challenges, and I will spin the wheel each month, and that will be like the themed vlog that I'm going to focus on for that month. I feel like that's going to be something a little bit more fun than your normal reading vlog where I'm just reading random stuff. This will have like an actual theme / goal in mind. And then I also want to try to share at least 2 bookish photos on my Instagram per month as well. If you are curious, my Instagram, all my social media is linked down below. But those are my reading goals. The other one is that I have created myself a book bingo board. I will put a picture right here where I can check off when I read specific books on that board. If I get a bingo, I can buy 1 book. If I clear the whole board, so get a whole board bingo, I can kind of treat myself to maybe a bookish shopping spree where I will set myself kind of a budget. I'm thinking like $50. I'm not going to go overboard, where I can do some book shopping. I am also signed up for Book of the Month. I started that this year, and I am going to count the Book of the Month pick as one of the books that I would purchase when I get a bingo. So right now I do not have a bingo on my board yet. So the first bingo that I get will count towards covering that Book of the Month book, if that makes sense. So those are my bookish goals. Now we're going to move on to my beauty goals. The first one is that I want to continue my replacements only method for skincare. I do not want to bring in new skincare products. I want them to be replacements for ones that I have used up. That way I don't get a cluttered shelf of stuff that I forget about. I can make sure I am going through the products and getting them used up before they expire. So I am going to continue that in 2022. That is what I did last year as well. It works really well for me. So that is goal number 1 for beauty. Goal number 2 is that I'm not allowing myself to purchase any lip products until June of 2022. That gives me 6 months of a lip product no-buy, if you will. I have 3 lip products in my project pan, and I am hoping that I can get all 3 of them done by June. That will make me feel very accomplished, but I have so many lip products. I don't wear lip products. They just sit around and take up space, so I'm not allowing myself to buy any new ones, or like no freebies either. No lip products until at least June of 2022. If you watched the video that went up previous to this one, you will have seen me kind of calculate out all of my beauty spending for 2021, and I am going to kind of continue that budget theme. So in 2022, I am setting myself a budget of $1,500. This is for makeup, skincare, and hair care only, not clothing. So this is a way for me to kind of just keep an eye on how much I'm spending, what I'm bringing in. I really want to make a point to find like cheaper alternatives to things. So this will just kind of help me keep on track with that. I also want to continue to curate my makeup collection throughout 2022 and really get rid of products that I am not going to use. Now, this doesn't mean throw them away. This means try to use those up to get them out of there. I also am going to institute a one in, one out method for my eyeshadow palettes because I have a ton of them. I love eyeshadow palettes, but there are some in my collection that I do not love as much as others. And I feel like I really need to take a hard look at what I have, kind of look at shades, things like that, and go ahead and move out the ones that are just kind of taking up space and not getting a lot of use. I am doing an eyeshadow roulette project this year, which will allow me to use some shades from palettes that maybe get neglected, but I still have a lot of eyeshadow palettes, and I want to make sure that I am not bringing in any more unnecessarily unless I've got room for them. And right now, I do not have room for any new ones. So one in, one out for eyeshadow palettes. Okay, and then just like with my book goal, I have a beauty photo goal for my Instagram as well. I want to share beauty photos on Instagram at least 2 times per month. So that's kind of just something that I'm aiming for. Another thing that I'm kind of thinking is that I want to branch out and try some different kind of beauty content. So if there's anything that you would like to see from me, beauty related, please let me know in the comments. I am open to suggestions because I would love to film more beauty content. I'm just not really sure what y'all want to see. So let me know in the comments if you have any ideas. Okay, now we are going to move on to kind of my life goals, if you will. The first one is that I want to try to make more use of my Netflix account. I don't watch very much on Netflix at all. I'm like a weirdo. I just watch reruns of shows that I've already seen before on TV. So hit me up with some Netflix recommendations. Let me know down below. I have a ton of them saved. I just haven't watched them. So I need to just make a better point of making use of that since I am paying for that. I also want to try to incorporate meditation. I said daily, but that's unrealistic. So I'm thinking at least a few times a week I want to make use of my meditation app that I was gifted because I am a teacher and I do use it in my classroom. It's the Calm app. I have a free account with them. So I need to make more use of that for my own like general mental well-being. And I also want to make sure that I'm checking in weekly with my stepmom who lives down in Mexico just to make sure I know what's up with her and to keep her apprised of what's going on with me. The other one, I started using Duolingo last year to learn Spanish and then I fell off of that. So I want to try to use Duolingo at least 3 times per week. I'm not going to really aim to like get up the tiers and stuff like that. That's not what I'm really looking to do. I just want to get better about using it and improving my Spanish skills, which are pretty non-existent. I mean, it's pretty bad. So yes, use Duolingo at least 3 times per week. I also want to try to be in bed by 10 o'clock p.m. during the school week because y'all, I'm tired. Teaching is hard and it's really bad when I stay up late because then I'm just exhausted the whole next day. So I need to get better about my bedtime. If you have strategies or things that help you out with that, let me know down below, but bedtime at 10 p.m. during the week is the goal. And then finally, I am going to unsubscribe myself from all clothing company emails. I believe I have managed to do that, but we'll see. Every once in a while, one sneaks in and then they get you with that sales stuff, and I just don't need all of that in my inbox. So I'm planning on unsubscribing from all clothing company emails. All right, and now we're going to move on to work. And my first one is that I need to be better about organizing and filing items away weekly. I have a habit of just letting things kind of stack up in my classroom and then it gets overwhelming and I'm stressed out. So organize and file weekly. I have been pretty good about that thus far. So let's hope that that's something I can keep up. I also want to remember to check the school calendar every Monday morning, because for some reason the calendar on my phone does not show everything that the calendar on my email shows, even though I have like the boxes checked. So I just need to be better about checking the calendar each week to know when I have meetings, what I need to do, that kind of thing. I also want to be better about leaving at contract time. So this is a little bit harder because I have car rider dismissal, and our contract time ends at 4:25, but sometimes we still have students at 4:25. So obviously I can't just be like, adios, see you. Like, I have to wait until someone takes them upstairs, but then I want to be out the door as soon as those kiddos are taken care of. So leave at or as close to contract time as I'm able to. That is a big goal for me. I also want to be better about leaving work at work. That means I don't want to bring work home. I don't want to work on things at home. I want to leave it at work. I want to leave work at work and do home at home. So I'm usually pretty good about that. I've gotten a little bit kind of lackadaisical, if you will, about that. So I want to be better in 2022, leave work at work. And then I also want to make more positive contacts with my parents or my families. I am pretty good about this. I usually send dojo messages to let them know how their kiddos are doing, but I just want to make sure that I'm reaching out to all of my families, especially the ones whose kiddos sometimes struggle at school. I want to make sure I'm sharing the good things with them as well and not just the negative. So that's it. That's my 2022 goals/intentions. There's a lot of them, but I feel like they're all doable. So we will see. As I said, at the end of the year, I will come back and film kind of a reflection on how these goals went, if I change my mind about them midway through the year, maybe, things like that. But yeah, that's a look at what I'm working on in 2022. If you share any of these goals, please let me know down below. I would love to hear from you. But otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, please leave me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more from me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.